welcome to the Millionaire Author Marketing course. I am so excited that you're here. I am Lee Savino, and I make a lot of money from my books. And if you have some books published and you're wondering, where's the money? This is the step 2. This is for you to get the profit, okay? And best of all, this system is introvert approved. I am the introvert. You may know me from the Millionaire Author Mastermind Facebook group. I have been running that for almost a decade now, and I would love you to join there and look around. It is for indie authors who want to scale to 6 and 7 figures with their books. And I also have a podcast, so you can check some of those resources out. And I cannot wait to get into this. This is the system that allowed me to pay off my mortgage. And I'm so excited because this is a picture of an aqueduct right here. The Romans built aqueducts, and they didn't wake up every morning and go, well, we got to get some fresh water. They built systems to bring the water to them. And the system I'm going to teach you, I have worked on and I've mastered it, and I can always improve on it. So I'm really excited to get into the nitty-gritty and tell you all the details. But let's start with the end in mind, okay? So picture this. You're on the beach and you're in the middle of a book launch. And you might have all your posts scheduled, and maybe your team is helping you, or your ads are running or whatever. But you are on the beach and you are relaxed because you know that either the launch is going well and you're going to check your bank account, there's a bunch of money coming in, or the launch isn't going well, because we've all had those launches. And it's okay, because that launch will give you data, and you know that you can make money this month. You know that you have a way to bring in sales from your book and find more readers and make it happen, make this business happen, okay? So that is the end goal, okay? You relaxed, being an author, writing your amazing books, and focused on growing your business, but having a steady stream of income and sales coming in, okay? This marketing system is used by all companies, all of them, okay? And if you took away my business tomorrow, if Amazon fell into the sea, and you could even take away all my books, but if I know how to do this system, I could build a business back and be very successful. This system actually works for every business. And if I'm ever at a party, which is rare, I'm completely impossible, because people will say things like, oh, we need more clients for our makerspace. And I will corner them and I'll start talking about this system. I'll be like, let me tell you what works. This is business. This is business 101. Okay, so this is the system. This is a basic funnel. So for you as an author, you're going to have your books on retailers. And in the back of the book, you are going to invite readers to get something for free. That's called a reader magnet. It's a cookie, a reader cookie. It's something that attracts readers. That's why we call it a magnet. And it's something juicy that they really, really want, especially if they've just read your book. And they sign up, and that's how you build your email list, okay? And then from there, you have a welcome sequence, and you can get sales. Many of you have heard of this system before, and I hope that, especially on day 2 of this class, I give you some tactics that make my mailing list so powerful. And that's why I'm at parties cornering people, going, do you have a mailing list? Do you have an email list? And most people say, oh, I have a newsletter, and it's kind of an afterthought. But again, if you took away everything I'm doing, you even could take away all my products, my books, and I could build back a business, because I know how to implement this. And so I know how to find customers and then reach them again and again and again to tell them about all my products. So let's get into the details. So you get a newsletter, and I will be going into depth with all these steps, okay? And giving you lots of examples. I'm going to give you my personal examples, my data, but I write spicy romance, and you might not. So I made sure I had some authors give me some of their examples. and they're writing nonfiction and fantasy and sci-fi and all that good stuff. But this is how I make this funnel work. I have a newsletter, and I actually have used MailerLite for years, and I am now switching to ConvertKit. It was formerly known as ConvertKit. And it doesn't really matter. I'll go into a little bit of detail of what sort of software and email providers you can use, but it's more important that you just do something, okay? So when in doubt, just pick one. MailerLite, Kit. I got links in here for you. And then you figure out a great newsletter freebie called the Reader Magnet, right? Something that makes readers really, really want to click and get on your email list. And then you set up the funnel, and I use BookFunnel. Their service and support is excellent. I have links in here that gets you right to the pages that tells you how the tech works. And then you can just message them and get help setting it up. And then you profit. So I have heard people say they hate email, and I get it. But if the email helps you pay off your house, you might like it a little bit better. So bear with me. I will say that the platform you're using can help a lot. I was with some older companies, GetResponse and MailChimp, and I prefer MailerLite, and now I'm trying out Kit. I really, really like it. And again, I need good support, so I'm not going to go off and try to do this on my own. I know that there are cheaper options if you're a little bit more tech savvy or willing to hire someone or learn the tech. I'm really, really picky about making sure I have the support and also making sure that my emails get delivered, and that's called deliverability, and that's important. It doesn't matter that I have 60,000 people on my mailing list if only 5 of them are getting them and the rest of them get my email sent to spam. That's deliverability. So you can research a little bit. I have a post in my group, the Millionaire Author Mastermind, and you can look and see what other people are using and why. And I will say this, if you have a Shopify store, Klaviyo right now is one of the best email provider tools. And I don't like it, but I am partnered with someone who's doing a whole course on Shopify and Klaviyo. He's built 3 direct stores to over $1 million a year in sales. And you can message me, email me, and I'll get you the link to that course wherever it's hosted whenever you're watching this. He's about to run it, and it will be live. I also, for people who really hate email, you might just use Patreon or Ream or Substack or Ghost or something like that. They're not going to maybe give you exactly what you want, but those are essentially, they're sending emails. So if you love Patreon and you're just like, I'm just going to build it here, that's fine. Something is better than nothing, okay? And I know someone who is very successful, and she has everything on Patreon. She says, hey, if you want this reader magnet, this freebie, join my Patreon. And you get it for free, and there's a free tier and then a paid tier. And so, again, I'm using MailerLite and ConvertKit, and I prefer those options to anything else on here. Okay, some people also love social media, but this is where I see people desperate posting in my group. And they're like, it's not working anymore. Things have changed. And it could be that they did really well when they could reach more people on TikTok or Instagram. And, you know, platforms change and they don't allow you to have that reach anymore because they want you to pay them for it, right? And I really don't have to worry, and I'm not scrambling to post on social media because I have this funnel and I have ways to reach readers over and over and over again. But if you really love social media, go ahead and post and advertise your books, but make sure you have this funnel in place because people aren't going to see your posts. You're going to have a new release and it's going to go well and someone might find it. And then 6 months later, you'll have another release and you'll have these readers going, oh, do you have a book 2 out yet? Because you're just unable to reach them. TikTok might not serve the correct video to them. I had a friend tell me this and she was so mad because she was working so hard. But if you have this funnel really, really well, you can rely on it. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to jump into some examples and we're going to really focus on the reader magnet because it's a big deal. It's really important. And again, I write spicy romance. So just know that there's going to be some not safe for work images coming up. But I I made them safe for work, but they're not really safe for work. Okay. They're safe for my work. Okay. So I have a book series, werewolves, Viking werewolves, and the Berserker Saga. All those books are out on retailers. So you can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them in libraries. And in the back of the book, and actually in the front of the book also, it says, do you want a Berserker novella free? And it's too hot for Amazon. It's too hot for me to post. Then go ahead and click here and sign up. And then it takes them to this landing page. This is called the landing page. And they can go ahead and click get my book, put in their email, and then this is delivered to them and they land right on my list. And the list I have is called English Berserkers. I have many lists, okay? Right now, because you got this course, you might be on one of my mailing lists. Do not worry. I will not tell you and send you anything about the Berserkers unless you sign up for that different list. You're in a different funnel. You're in my nonfiction author focus funnel. This is for the spicy werewolf lovers. And so I keep them on their own list, English, because they're English speaking, and they're Berserkers. It's the Berserker lover. And they really love this series and they really want this book. And it feels so good to email these people because I know they want to hear about more spicy werewolf romance. I know it. Why? Because they did all this work to get more spicy werewolf romance. And it's called permission marketing. This is permission marketing at its finest. I love talking to people who want to hear from me. It's so nice. So I need you to start to think, what's going to be a great reader magnet for me, for my best-selling book or best-selling series. I call that the signature series in my 7-figure author course. And the best reader magnet is going to be free in exchange for the reader's email and exclusive, meaning the newsletter is the only way to get it. And I have tons of examples coming up, okay? I want to note that the quality of your reader magnet determines the quality of your list. I had an author review these slides and she said, by the way, for a long time, I made this random book I had a reader magnet for all my books in my series. The problem was that random book had nothing to do with anything I was writing. And this funnel wasn't as powerful. It didn't work as well. And remember, I said some people, the Berserker people, are on their own email list, and you, an author, are on a separate one. That can really, really help. And we're going to talk about specifically easy ways for you to get a really good reader magnet without you having to write a whole book. It's my favorite. Easy is my favorite. So I just want to point out that if this hasn't worked well for you in the past, if you have tried to implement something, it is worth you thinking a little bit harder about what would be a really juicy cookie for these readers. What do they really, really want? The readers of this sci-fi series or this sci-fi romance series. What will make them click? And I had another thought and I forgot. Okay, we're soldiering on. Okay, here's the spicy art. So if you're writing fiction, you can start to pick and choose what would be a good reader magnet. I remembered my thought. Some of you guys need permission to test more, okay? This is business. It's not personal. You are trying to get people to click and then trying to get them to click on more things. And that's it. And every rejection is just data, okay? And I tend to be a throw it all at the wall sort of person. And I've stumbled onto success, but I think it's because I am willing to move fast and break things. I am willing to just try things. For example, I have never tried a piece of art as a reader magnet. I'm not really inclined to try because this is my best piece of art by one of my favorite artists. And it's for the Berserker series. And I already have a really, really good reader magnet for the Berserker series. And it's working well and I don't want to mess that up. But when I see, I could test it and then just see, which gets more clicks. I think what I already have is going to get the most clicks, which is why I'm reluctant to spend the time testing. But if you have stuff that isn't working, this is an excellent opportunity to start just trying stuff, okay? I love this business because it's not rocket surgery. You do not have someone's heart cracked open on the operating table trying to make sure they survive while you're in a rocket to outer space, because rocket surgery is like you're in the rocket doing the surgery, I guess. No one dies. If you put a bad link up, if you do this wrong, I'm going to show you tons of examples of me messing up. And I just really want you to get in this mindset of like, I can do this and I can try it. And by the end of this course, I want you to go, if Lee is making that amount of money, I'm going to make so much more money. Okay. Do it and then invite me to your beach house. Okay. So here's a list of things that you might try for your fiction series, your best-selling book. Okay. But really, the rule is just give anything the readers want is what you want to give them. Okay. And I have real world examples coming up. Okay. So review this list and start to think what might work. I have done full books and novellas, and you can see here I have cut scenes, juicy bonus epilogues, and an alternative POV, meaning if the meet cute is in the hero's POV, I'll do the heroine's POV. I've never really tried that. I don't think that would work as well. I tend to do meet the baby because that's what I write. That's the stuff. I write the stuff that leads to the babies. And an AU scene is alternate universe scene. So maybe you wrote fanfic of your own series. That might work. I don't know. You could try it. If you have it lying around, like try it. But I will say I've done novellas. I've done full novels. The juicy bonus epilogue works the best for me. And a bonus epilogue is not the epilogue in the book. It's an extra epilogue. They get a complete book. And then if they want more, if they want to meet the baby, then they end up on my mailing list. And the only way to meet the baby is the mailing list. Let me tell you, in romance, it's so easy. If you just deliver what they want, you will get a email list full of grandmas who give you gifts. It's amazing. Okay, I will say there was a thriller author and he would give away a full starter library. And I wasn't exactly his target audience. I signed up, I got his 3 thrillers. It was a lot. But I wasn't his target audience. Like, I don't even think I read most of book 1. I'm not a big thriller reader, okay? So I would be careful. I would give them something great and satisfying, but I would lean towards something shorter that they can get through, and then they want more of your stuff, okay? But again, the rule is anything readers want, and you can try stuff. You have permission to fail. Fail faster. Okay, for nonfiction, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Russell Nolte is an awesome guy. He and I do a podcast called 6-Figure Author Experiment, and he gave me a bunch of examples, and you can just click. He has like his whole flows laid out for you. So I'm going to give you those links if you have these slides. If you don't, email me and make sure you're on my mailing list, and I'll give you the slides. But I have had for years this for my author audience. This is just a simple 1-page. It's actually this course on 1 page. And this was my reader magnet for years. And I am now giving away a full course. And then I will tell you about my other courses and more things I offer. And I really recommend you do this. You have to do this in nonfiction. Like, what are you doing? Okay, so your homework is this. Take a couple minutes right now. And I want you to think of your favorite author and look them up and find a way to end up on their email list and get their newsletter. Do it now. I'll keep talking. Your bonus homework is to go to Amazon and really look at who's the top author in my subgenre, who are the top 5 authors. You might have already done this research, and go ahead and sign up to all their newsletters and emails. You can always unsubscribe, but I say this because I ran this course in my book marketing bootcamp, and I signed up for Sarah J. Maas's newsletter, and I have yet to get a single newsletter, an email from her. I don't know if she's too successful to email us. It's probably something I did wrong, like user error, but you can find 5 people and study. What are they offering you? Are they offering you anything? I think it's more common for indie authors to offer a reader magnet. And traditionally published authors, they don't have as much control over their marketing, but just start to get some data and check it out. And then you start to get their emails. And I use Google labels and file things in my inbox. So you can just have a folder where you keep, your research folder. You can keep all those emails in there. And then when you need ideas, you go and be like, oh, Sarah J. Mass did email me about her new release and she's doing a giveaway or whatever. I'm not holding my breath to get an email from her. Okay. Have you done it? Do it. Do it. All right. I'm moving on. Okay. More pretty much almost not safe for work images. For the longest time, my get this book, my book cover for my reader magnet for Bread by the Berserkers was just this image. Like I didn't even bother to email my cover artist and say, hey, can you make it an actual book cover? So not great for the reader experience, but done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. These are my stats for some of my top reader magnets. And oops, there's a curse word on this slide. Okay, I did tell you it was not safe for work. So these two, Bred by the Berserkers and A Berserker Birth, are exclusive novellas. And I wrote two. I give you one and then the second one if you're on the Berserker list. So if you're a Berserker reader and you love it so much, you want more, you end up on the list and you end up getting two freebies. And then Beauty and the Lumberjacks is a book I wrote. It's actually live on Amazon. It is not exclusive. It's live everywhere. It's live on Barnes & Noble, all the retailers. Because when you're wide, you want to be everywhere. Okay? That's a different course. Okay. Beauty and the Lumberjacks is the book I throw around. I'm like, I need a reader magnet. I'll just put that one in. Okay? So again, you can fail. You can do this badly. Done is better than perfect. And people like the book. They've clicked. This is the pop-up on my website. And I will tell you now, though, my most favorite reader magnet. So again, it's Meet the Baby. You've already heard this. But the best part of these Meet the Baby scenes or whatever exclusive extras, sometimes there's a wedding or just an extra bonus epilogue. The best thing about this is it's like 2,000 to 3,000 words. So I turn in my book to my editor. And while my editor has the full book, I write the exclusive epilogue because I just have some time and I still love the characters. They're still in my head. And I write a couple thousand words of an extra scene. This can get out of control. I have written 11,000 words of just bonus extra fun stuff. This is still my best converting one, and it's only 2,000 words. So you can make it easy. Ask yourself, how can this be easy? Because it can be easy. And sometimes the easy stuff works the best. So I will tell you that all of my books now have something like this in the back, except for the ones that I have forgotten about. So if you check all my books and you come at me and go, wait a second, Lee, you said, I'll be like, great, thanks for letting me know. I forgot about that one. And then I'll just go and put probably Beauty and the Lumberjacks in the back, right? Okay, so this is the back matter of the book. If you're reading this on your e-reader, you notice it doesn't say the end. There's just that little flourish, and then it says Meet Charlie and Lance's Baby. Click here to read the bonus scene, and then they're on the Bad Boy Alpha list because that's the series, not the Berserker series, the Bad Boy Alpha series. Both werewolves, but different werewolves. So I highly recommend doing this. And you can see that we also talk about book 3 in our series, Alpha's Revenge. So coming up next, here's the next book. You can click right to it and start reading it. But first and most important is getting them on our newsletter, our email list. Okay, some tips. Keep yourself organized. Different subscribers land on different lists. I've already explained that. This is very important when you start translating your books. And you can see ENG is English. And then we got German, Italian, and French, and Spanish. So using a naming convention to organize subscribers is really important. My naming convention is doing, hey, which language is it in? If it's Spanish, it's SP. And then I just shove every single word that I might use to search that reader magnet, including the Spanish title and everything into the name. That's my naming convention, because done is better than perfect. And I also highly recommend testing your funnel. Author emailed me after she looked over these slides, and she said, I've heard all this stuff before and it's great. But then I went and I checked just to see, and the links were broken. So she wasn't collecting readers for that period of time. And it's really, really good, especially if you have a launch or a big sale or you're running tons of ads to that book. Get this funnel solid. Make it work. All right, we're moving on to some examples. So this is a lit RPG cozy fantasy. And Jill wrote this as a prequel to the series she was releasing on Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter did very well. So this was almost a way to promote the Kickstarter. And she says that this is a standalone novella. So it has a beginning, middle, end, satisfying reader experience. The cover ties in to the covers of the rest of the series, so the branding is solid. And she built an audience for books that weren't even released yet. And we'll talk about how she did that with book funnel promos on day 2. Okay? Another idea, and I freaking love this. And thank you to everybody who sent me examples, because otherwise it was going to be all spicy romance and probably more of those very spicy images. So I loved this. Cheryl is so smart. She put together something that the readers who love her books would love. She writes in several different genres. You can check her website. And this is a reader magnet for pretty much all of them. And I think even if you wrote a memoir, she doesn't write memoir, but she writes all the rest of the bullets here, except for nonfiction diet books. She offered them something that they love. And even if you were writing like a memoir and you're like, well, I can give you grandma's recipes. Grandma was a sordid figure in my memoir, but you want to know how to make her cake. This is awesome. And of course, this would work for nonfiction if you're writing diet books or something health related. This was another one I loved. I specifically asked, like, does anyone have maps? Someone said they give away a printable bookmark. Also, a printable reader list, like a full reading list. Like, oh, I have a reader journal. I should actually try that as a reader magnet. I should do something with that. I meant to. I forgot. I'm going to write that down. So the reader journal could be kind of that would be a good pop-up, actually. I can replace Beauty and the Lumberjacks on my website. Okay, note to self. But this author built this website in Canva, and she actually hosts all her bonus content on this website. You can click the slide and start to check it out. And you can join some of these people's newsletters and see what they're emailing and what their welcome sequence is like, because we're going to talk about that on day 2. So another reader magnet idea. And if you write sci-fi romance, this could be like a ship schematic or a map of the planet. And same with fantasy, you give them a map. I don't know how great of a reader magnet it would be compared to, hey, these are your quirky side characters that you love. And if you want their little side quest, click here. That might work way better. I tend to lean into the prose. I tend to lean into the story versus all these extras, probably because I'm way better at writing than making maps or any sort of art. So try it, test it. But I thought that was cute. Whoops. There's the website, and there's all her bonus content. We got spicy cowboys. Okay, I promise there's things that aren't spicy here. Okay, clicking forward. Okay, so this is Mallory's awesome. She has a whole website that she built on Wix, and very prominently is like, start reading for free, and takes you to this landing page. She's not using BookFunnel, it looks like. So she knew how to make the website using Wix and program it. I do not spend the time doing that. I just have a BookFunnel landing page, which they offer if you subscribe to BookFunnel. And her wife, Jill, told me that they will run ads to this book and it converts really, really well. And if you like this military sci-fi, you're going to want the cyborg soldier, the sexy cyborg soldier. I know I do. And so this stands alone. And also it isn't exclusive, but you can put this in the back of every of your military sci-fi books and say, you want more of Rika? Here she is. So this works really well. And Mallory did a full ad talk on how she runs lead magnet ads, as well as all other ads. And I'm going to link to it in day 2. Eki. So here are 2 examples from Kevin. And he writes fantasy, and he says that the one on the right, North Shield Magic, that relates to one of his series, and that's just a novella. The one on the left is a random novella or novel he wrote, and he gives it away, but he's writing fantasy. It's all fantasy, so it works. So Northside Magic might be really juicy if you've just read that series, and it's like, do you want more? Here you go. And then Quantum Dragon Slayer is more the one he's like, hey, you want to just check out a free book of mine? Here it is. And I've been writing since 2015. I also have all these random novellas lying around that I wrote for a box set or anthology. And I often just slap them up as a reader magnet to see how they convert. Like, do lots of readers like them? Let's try it. Okay, we've got another awesome spicy romance novella. And I just loved what Sophia told me. And it's 11,000 words, so it's short. And she loves reading these. She loves emailing these readers because she knows they love her books. So I love that. And I was really grateful she sent in data. So put that on your dream board, right? That's what you want. And that sort of relationship with your newsletter is possible. You can also kind of phone it in. The more care and tending of your email list, the better it goes. There have definitely been periods of time, years, where I'm like, I just had a baby. I can't. And I kind of ignore the list or have my assistant do everything. And it's not as warm and welcoming as it would be if I was really focused on making every email very much in my voice. But it's okay, because when I came back and my kids were finally in school, I was like, well, I'll just cut the dead weight. 20,000 people. I still have 40, 60,000 people. And I'll just email the people who want to hear from me. I'm not going to talk about culling or cutting dead weight. So if that's all new to you, forget I just said that. I have links on day 2 that will help you figure all that out. Just get yourself set with a reader magnet, okay? That is step 1. And if your reader magnet is stale, again, test some things. Okay. We got a nonfiction example from Russell. And if you click these, he has, like I said, full list of his flow, his funnel, his autoresponders. Click on that for nonfiction and check out his beautiful business. There's a link here and a link here. Okay, so your homework is to get this done because you can do it. Okay, what is your top selling book? Just get something done. What is selling for you? And what would be something that the readers of that book or that series, I write so much, I think in series. What's something that they will love? You can see my Her Marine Daddy book. That's one of the random novellas that I just toss up there. Beauty and the Lumberjacks converts way better, but this is a reader favorite, and it is live on all retailers, but I often give it away. It's a novella. And it's kind of like they're getting to know me. They're getting to know my writing style. It's actually perma-free. It's free on all retailers permanently. So I just give it away. And I give it to newsletter people too. So again, think through what's a juicy extra. Definitely write about your quirky side characters if that sounds fun for you. And it doesn't have to be a full book. But when in doubt, done is better than perfect. Grab something that you think might work and throw it up there and try it. And if you've already done this, and again, you're taking this because you thought I would tell you some secret that you don't already know. Sorry, not sorry. I'm telling you exactly what works. And if it's not working for you, I invite you to test more things and to think this through a little bit more, okay? And then if you really, really hate it, go find a new amazing way to make millions. And then tell me, do a course on it for me. This works for me. And that's why I'm doing this whole course on it. On day 2, I'm going to talk about extra things that makes my list very, very, very powerful so that I don't just have a newsletter and, oh, it's not working. And, I send out an email and crickets, but I have people who click. I can send an email and make a couple $100 immediately. So having that is nice. It's great. And I want you to have that. It gives you a little bit more calm and certainty in your business. And again, you can build this for any business. If you decide to stop writing books and selling dog food, build an email list. Give the dog food buyers something they want. A PDF of how to train your dog. I don't know. Something dog related that will make them want to buy more dog food. And then nurture that list. Okay? You're going to do it. Okay. Day 2, we're going to talk a little bit more. But first, I will leave you with make sure every book you publish has a reader magnet. So start with your top seller. And then from now on, the thing is, once it's done, it's done. That's why I have so much free time on my hands to make this course. I'm making another funnel because the other funnels are working. And if they're not working, I'll test stuff until they do. And you can do that too. It is not rocket surgery. And on that note, I will leave you until day 2. And I hope you have learned something. And if not, maybe day 2 will teach you something. And if not, why don't you email me and tell me everything you know, because I would like to learn what you know.